The Louie Bellina Show, final hour on a Monday. Louie Bellina Show, presented by CC Electric. We got the maroon and white notebook. Cool. Rest of the world of sports. Text message sweep. The Aggie football listening. Spring practice has begun. Ruben Owens and Damian Sanford met with the media. And I do spring football in their words. We'll listen to the players and the coaches when they meet with the media. And this is one of the most open spring football practices, spring football they've ever had. Not only, they always bring out players and coaches, but they're letting like 5 of the practices are just completely open to the media too. It's, I remember, oh gosh, why is my brain hurting? The O-line head coach Mike Sherman, he had a fairly open policy if I remember right too, but this is as open as I think I've ever seen. So we got our Aggie football listening at 1:35 here on the Louie Bellina Show, the Monday edition, the Louie Bellina Show from inside the Charles Schwab studio. Low cost, full service, best of all local. That is Schwab. Who is Schwab? Mark Sim, our local Schwab agent representative right here in College Station. Find him online at schwab.com/College Station. Maroon and white notebook. We talked about Aggie baseball. We had our listening in the lunch hour. Bluebell, 6,087 fans on Sunday. Over the weekend, 20,882 fans in attendance. Sixth largest crowd for a 3-game series all time. 5th most since the renovations in 2012. Huge crowd made their way out, and kind of mentioned this in our first hour, hinted at a little second hour. But let us hold, I think we should, evaluations, judgments, condemnation of Aggie baseball until the next 2 weekends. Because judging them based upon 2 top 10 teams, in that offensively they went toe-to-toe. But that's kind of a bad thing. You're averaging 8.5 runs a game, but you're 2-4. Let them face Missouri, a bottom dweller. And then Vanderbilt, Vanderbilt's off to a 2-4 start. Mitch Light told us that 6 of their top 10 pitchers are out injured. They have 0 bullpen. So injuries are making them not the Vanderbilt we know. And then on top of that, Vanderbilt's had number 13 LSU, number 6 Mississippi State. So they are not a bottom dweller despite 2-4. So let A&M face 2 teams that are not top 25. Let's wait 2 weeks, get more data points from SEC play. Then we could start going, they're not good. Oh, they're top 25, just not top 10. I think we can make more educated opinions about what Aggie baseball is in 2026 if we wait 2 more series to find out. So they're not a top 10 team. Okay, but I'm telling you something. They should have won the OU series in Norman. Friday was a really bad loss. They could have won Sunday, but with the weather conditions, that almost wasn't like real baseball. So I'm going to wait. You can do what you want to do. Respect. I know that's what I'm going to do. So, but I think it's a little undeniable. The pitching is not ready for SEC play. There's inconsistency. They have not had one quality start in 6 games because it's 6-3. And even yesterday, Aiden Sims. No, I need to check that before I screw up. Maybe there's been 1-6, but 5 2/3 is not 6, so still looking. Upcoming schedule, Aggie baseball. HCU tomorrow, 5:45 pregame, 6:02 will be the first pitch. You can hear that game here on the Zone, 11:50 a.m. and 93.7 FM. I do want to give you a heads up, programming service announcement. A&M is at Missouri, Columbia, Missouri, Taylor Stadium, Friday, 6, Saturday, 4, Sunday at 1. You will hear those games on News Talk 1620, 94.5, WTAW, and at RadioAggieland.com. Why? We've got the Sweet 16 and the Elite 8 NCAA tournament here on the Zone. And on Bryan Broadcasting, we have the flagship of Aggie Athletics, which is the Zone, WTAW, and really 1550. That's your flagship stations for Aggie Athletics. And if we have the ability to bring you, the Sweet 16, Elite 8, and Aggie Baseball, why not bring it all for you, the sports fan? Why not be full service? So, A&M, Missouri, all 3 games, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, are on Newstalk 1620, 94.5, WTAW, and that's not new. We've been doing that for a decade and change. That one weekend that Aggie Baseball is over on WTAW. So be prepared. Tell your friends. I got to assume, which it's dangerous when we assume, right? There's just a skosh of extra motivation for Aggie Baseball against Missouri. That series last year is one of those top 5 most shocking weekends of Aggie Baseball play in my life. It ended the season, ended a dream. It ended a lot of things. That was, I don't know, like, even if they would have took one, I think they make the NCAA tournament. Even if they only would have took one, I'm going to tell you there would have been a lot of shock on my part. But they got swept by one of the worst teams in the history of the SEC at home. As it looked like maybe, just maybe, things were starting to be turned around just a bit. Like you saw rays of light, just a glimmer of hope. And it got turned to ash. So this Aggie offense going medieval, if the pitching staff can hold them to 4 or 5 runs, yeah, revenge would be nice. That's kind of, no, really, yes, really, revenge would be nice. So Aggie Baseball, win the next 2 series, get back to 500 men. Sweep Missouri would be quite welcome, but I'm not going to be overly greedy. Get back to 500, and then we can go, okay, they're not top 10. Are they top 25? They're still ranked D1, still ranked the Athletic, and we can evaluate from there. We're in the maroon and white notebook. Aggie Softball was at home, SEC season opener. Home opener, I need to correct myself. Kentucky, and they swept. They destroyed Kentucky in the first 2 games. It was the Sunday game that they had to rally from behind. 9-6 final with a 7-run 6th. 7-run, you heard correctly, 6th inning to, finish the sweep of Kentucky. I said they won quite easily. Friday, 10-2. Michaela Wark with a grand slam, walk-off to lead the 10-2. That was a run rule walk-off. 7-1 on Saturday, final. That completed. And again, 3 runs in the 6th late. But that completed, they had the series win on Saturday. 9-6 on a 7-run. Absolutely unbelievable game. And Maya Perez, Kennedy Powell, both got on base, and they're tied for the nation's longest on-base streak at 34 games each. And they're tying each other for the nation's longest on-base streak. And Aggie Softball, with the start they had, not quite sure who they are or what they are. Still not. But I knew they had to win the first 2 series, and to actually get a sweep in them, I think is a strong statement. It's really hard to sweep anyone in SEC play. And they're 5-1. And a sweep, I don't care who the opponent is. And I think that's why that rally, the 7 runs, everything they did is beyond huge. I mean, coming up are tougher challenges. Their schedule got, in the word easier is relative. I never said easy, not insinuating that. Easier as the season's played out. So this offense will win them many games because of their schedule that they have. And maybe a pitcher or 2 can hit the projection and set things up for like the second half SEC / the postseason. That's kind of how you want to see it play out. A&M, Texas, softball, be prepared. Texas is the number 2 team in the country. They're the defending national champs. They're legit. That should be an absolute war. I have to calm down on that one. That one should be brilliant. That should be a war. And that should be a litmus test for where this team is, to be fair. Texas is the new number 1. I need to correct myself. They were number 2 last week. They're the new number 1. And that's in Austin this weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. In Austin this weekend. And they only have one win over a top 25 team. They're taking on the number 1 team in the country. It is a rivalry game, rivalry series. We'll get to see how far they've come. Litmus test. Then at Georgia, Ole Miss, Baylor midweek is fascinating. Again, their schedule, it's like Aggie football. Remember in the, Aggie football this year in August, their schedule looked so brutal, and it played out that it was, again, relatively easier than projected. Aggie softball's catching that same break. Take it. That's rare. Take it. That don't happen often in SEC play. But they still have Texas and OU. That's still 2 of the top 5, 6 teams in the country, with Texas being 1. And OU will be in the top 3, 4.
You save by switching your car insurance to Allstate?
What is that?
Well, let's say.
Well, be quiet. 979-693-1150. 979-693-1150. The Maroon and White Notebook. I do want to throw a question out there. I haven't had a text message survey question today or get your thoughts on something. We had, I wish I could remember who, but they texted and said they're not buying Aggie Baseball yet. I'm saying I want to wait for the first month so that they face a good team who's injured, a really awful team, and they've already got the 2 top 10 teams under their belt. I want more data points. Where are you at with Aggie Baseball? Have you seen enough? Do you have your final conclusion? Are you waiting? Have you bought in, bought out? I mean, I'm just kind of wondering where you're at. Because, again, have the text. Oh, Jimmy. It was Jimmy that texted. Kind of shared how I felt. Where are you at? Still waiting to see yourself? Sold your season tickets. Oh, that's a funny one. So if you want to text, simple concept, where are you at with Aggie Baseball? And again, I'm in the hold phase. Just give me 2 more weekends and, then we can overreact to everything. But where are you at? 979-693-1150. And you can light up the Texas Mobile One Lube Express inbox. With Aggie Softball, I've seen enough offensively. I think they'll be hosting. I don't know about much more than that. Again, 2 weekends in. But I think offensively, they'll be hosting. With the pitching staff, there's more data points to come. We'll see how they do against a couple of teams coming up. So, Diamond Sports, man, am I boring? Too early to tell. Well, that's dramatic. That's exciting. But I think it's true for both teams. And even with Aggie Baseball, I look at the OU series. The Georgia series was a little disturbing. This weekend. The Georgia series this weekend was a little disturbing. Georgia crushes mistakes. There were a lot of mistakes made. Don't seem to have a lot of 3-pitch pitchers. Or if you're going to say you're wrong, Lou, how about pitches they can fool people with? Would that be a more accurate statement? Anyway, I'll grab a timeout. We'll come back. We'll continue in the Maroon and White Notebook. This is the Louie Bellina Show, presented by CC Electric on the Zone on Monday.
You can hear the madness of March on Zone 1150 AM and 93.7 FM.
The Louie Bellina Show inside the Charles Schwab studio. Where else would I be, man? It's comfortable. Low cost, full service, best of all local. That is Charles Schwab. The local part is Mark Sim. He's right here in College Station. If you ever want to look up Mark Sim, see what he can do for you, find out more information, get answers to your questions, or just learn more, go to schwab.com/College Station. Charles Schwab and Company Incorporated, member SIPC. We're inside the maroon and white notebook in our final, 40 minutes together, less than an hour. Logan and Burton made me laugh. He texted and said, "Dang, Lou, now I'm going to have to figure out dual TVs to watch both Diamond Sports. Even have wedding on Saturday afternoon. We'll be watching with the bride's brother-in-laws." Yep, you've got Aggie Baseball going for revenge on Mizzou, and you've got Aggie Softball versus number 1 Texas. And you'll hear Aggie Baseball all weekend long. Special programming announcement. Special on WTAW, 1620, 94.5 WTAW, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And Aggie Softball, of course, will be on Willie 1550 AM and 93.7 FM. So, if you don't have those dual TVs you're wielding, Brian Broadcasting, we're the flagship of Aggie Athletics, The Zone, WTAW, and Willie 1550. We got you covered, okay? Just kind of keep that in Radio Aggie Land. Got you covered. Just a little heads up there. Want to continue in the maroon and white notebook? Aggie football. Spring football has begun. I saw a list. These are the kind of things that entertain me. And the winningest teams during the college football playoff era. And by winningest, it's not total number of wins. They did win percentage. And is win percentage perfect? No. Is it good? Yes. So I have no problem with win percentage. The winningest college football teams by win percentage in the college football era. When I share with you the top 4 teams, you will have no shock. You will have no surprise. Matter of fact, you might yawn. If I gave you 5 guesses, you should get the top 4. Really, I should give you 4. And if you miss one, penalty box 5 minutes, a major. Ohio State. Maybe you wouldn't have got number 1. Maybe you went easy with Bama. But Ohio State, in the college football playoff era, has the best win percentage of any team in the stretch. They went 141-19. That's an 881. Yes, they're the winningest program. Bama is the second winningest at an 870. I can't say those two are by themselves. Georgia has the third winningest record, 137-27, 835. Remember something. The college football playoff era is 12 years. So Ohio State 1, Georgia 3, have 8-loss gap between them. That's almost, 1 a year. So that's a pretty significant difference. And number 4 is Clemson at 819. Now, the past 3 years of Clemson mediocrity, and they were in the college football playoff all of 2 years ago, right? They won the ACC championship. But still, they've been pretty mid for a while now. So maybe you wouldn't have thought that. But Clemson, they forced Nick Saban to hire Lane Kiffin to be the OC. That was actually Johnny Manziel. And watching the changing of the guard at quarterback. But still, seeing Clemson in the playoff, and he's going, man, I got to score more than 18 points. I got to play offense for real now. But those are the top 4 winningest teams. And, the 4 team and then the 12 team. That's the CFP era. And none of that should be, that's been the college football playoff. It's why they expanded. It's why they expanded to 12, was to include more than those 4 teams. Because 3 of those 4 would be every year. And here's what's funny. The teams that would alternate in the 4 spot, be the sacrificial lambs, were always Notre Dame and Oklahoma. Oregon was in there, but it was generally those 2. And Notre Dame is the 6th best win percentage, 763. OU is 7th at 752. But they were kind of sacrificial lambs. The only other school that caught my attention LSU at 13 at 688. And you're going, Lou, wait, the only other school that caught your attention, hey, what about those fighting Texas Aggies? Great question. Their ranking by win percentage in the CFP era, I kind of thought was perfect. Because I think A&M's a top 25 team. But I don't think they're top 10. I don't think they're top 15. I think Elko is shifting. They're a top 10 team last year, and they're picked to be a top 10 team this year. If you take a look at the consensus, way too early top 25s. A&M is now, top 10 last year, top 10 now, and they need to do it again, and probably again before we can go, they're officially a top 10 program. They were. Most people say they're tracking. Most people believe that Elko is the guy to do it, but it's not done yet. I think that's the correct statement on that. But A&M has been, for way too long, a top 25 program. Or 1 year they can be 18, and the next year they can be 34. Well, in the CFP era, their win percentage, 96 wins, 55 losses. And that's good enough for a 636 win percentage, which has been good enough for 24. Good enough for 24. And with the team in front and the team behind. TCU 23, Ole Miss 24. And I feel like that's, top 25 ranking in the CFP era, but no more. And does anyone else, does that sound wrong? Does that not sound right? Because that's your 8-4, go win the bowls, get your 9th, and occasional. In the CFP 12 team era, there's only been 2 years of exceptionalist, right? And that was 20, and then last year 25. So, just again, in my own head, I'm even chuckling here. Well, let's see, 12 years, 2012. Nope, that was prior. So anyway, 24. And maybe they should be 20 and not 24, but it's the same tier, so I don't really fight over the difference between 20 and 24. That's the same tier. But that's the data. That's 636 win percentage, ranks them 24th during the CFP era at 96 and 55. I'm going to share this with you. I got a chuckle out of this. Where do you think the University of Texas is? You have to remember something. The University of Texas, the Longhorns, they were down bad. There's a reason why they were forced to leave the Big 12. There's a reason why they gave up the Longhorn Network. They didn't do any of that because that kindness of their heart. It wasn't the money. They always have money. The attention. Again, they approached the SEC. Remember that. They did not, get courted. Texas had a 619 win percentage during the CFP era. 96 and 59. 30th. Not even a top 25 ranking. And this, during the CFP era, the Longhorns actually made the college football playoff twice. But for a decade of the 12, they had some, was it Todd Herman? Oh, and who was the other coach right before? They had some really awful hires, and they had some nightmare type seasons. They were down bad is the best way I can describe it. And again, there was a reason why they had to join the SEC. But their ranking during the CFP era by win percentage, 619, 96 and 59, is 30. And A&M, again, 24, which I think is perfect. A&M is the 20 to 30 tier. Now, I say again, easy, everybody. Elko last year had them top 10. Preseason for this year, consensus top 10. Do it about 3 years, and you can go, they're not anymore. And that would be accurate. I think there's no reason to fight over that. But you got to do it more than once, and I would argue even twice doesn't make it official. Even though what the joke is at A&M, do it twice and it's a tradition. And I think the belief is, Louie Bellina, a lot of fans, national experts, that Elko is the guy that seems to have the plan to make that a true statement. Now, before we take a timeout, by the way, this is the Louie Bellina Show from inside the Charles Schwab studio, Monday edition. Before we take a timeout, one more thing, maroon and white notebook. CBS Sports NFL draft expert Pete Prisco, he did his first NFL mock draft. One Aggie in the first round, Cassius Howell, goes 26 to the Buffalo Bills. Pete Prisco, NFL draft expert, his first NFL mock draft. Cassius Howell, 26 to the Buffalo Bills. KC Concepcion's in a fascinating spot. This is going to be a 6 or 7 wide receiver first round, and he is in that 7 slot. Now, if a front office wants the versatility, he could move up to 5, 6, 7, and not 7. Or, I keep saying this, when you're in those last 6 to 8 spots, 6 to 9 spots in the first round, it's about, this is the guy that fills that last hole for us to win the Super Bowl, because those are teams in contention. You have teams in the first 10 picks in the first round, and they're picking 6 and wide receivers their need, and they don't want to see if Concepcion slips to 6. So they trade back up in the first to take him. And that's how the 7th receiver comes off the board. There's a lot of things that play out. And the last thing is every single mock draft turns to ash kind of once the second trade happens. And all of a sudden, instead of a wide receiver first round, only 5 goes, not 7. And it's not just KC, but 3 wide receivers slip out. There's a lot that goes into it. But he is going to test front offices in that back end, contenders, who look at everything he can do. Versus just, other experts in their straight up rankings who forget everything KC can do. By the way, top 10 picks, very little fluctuation. Mendoza's 1 to the Raiders. Ruben Bain goes 4 to the Titans. Jeremiah Love is my favorite top 10 pick. He just strikes me as a bona fide 3-down back who instantly makes any team he's on better, where other players might not impact as long. I love Jeremiah Love. Francis Malga, the offensive tackle for Miami, number 9 to Kansas City. Who knew when A&M and Miami faced that Miami had 2 top 10 NFL picks? We knew they had 2 first-round picks. But, and you know me, I love NFL draft, following the mocks and stuff, and neither one was top 10 at the time. And now, and Mesidor, 3 first-round picks, 2 top 10 picks. Stock up. And that A&M game had a lot to do with it. For, you know how it goes, right? For a lot of them, they know who they are. Who's them? The NFL draft guys. But you don't get to watch tape until the season's over. And they're watching, of course, the college football playoff games. And that might be the first full game they've watched. And they went, holy cow. Those guys were so much better than the evaluations we had back in August. So stock way up. Cowboys, Mason Thomas, D-line. Also, Jacob Rodriguez, the linebacker from Texas Tech, and Mason Thomas, the D lineman from Oklahoma. And if you're a Houston Texans fan, I've seen all the mocks saying they're taking O-line, D-line, and you can't go wrong with the line of scrimmage, but got to be an offensive lineman. But if you're a Texans fan, how many times has that bit you? Answer, every year since the franchise was formed. Since they were, when NFL expanded and granted them one every year, starting with Tony Baselli. A timeout, a return. I got a great text message to share. Plus our Aggie football listening with Ruben Owens and Damian Sanford. This is the Louie Bellina Show, Monday, here on The Zone.
The Louie Bellina Show. Dial 979-693-1150. Hello. To visit with him. Hello. Or to win. Hello. On the D4 Land Services Hotline. Dial 979-693-1150.
The Louie Bellina Show, presented by CC Electric, built on faith, family, and community. The Louie Bellina Show, time's running out. We got like 22 minutes left on a Monday. Text 979-693-1150, and you can light up the Texas Mobile and Lube Express inbox. And Aggie football, spring football, and, well, I like to do spring in their words. Like, we listened to Mike Elko live last Monday at 1 o'clock, spring football kickoff. And then, last Tuesday, or was it Wednesday, we listened to Lyle Hemphill, and then we listened to the new the offensive coordinator, Holman Wiggins, and, well, today we listened to some of the players who met with the media. How about we start on the offensive side? Ruben Owens.
What's the number one goal for you? What are you looking to do this spring? What's on your agenda?
Basically, just learn the new offense, some of the new calls we got, and just look forward and work on my contact balance a little bit.
Talk about the new offensive coordinator. What changes? What might see? How is he to work for? He obviously has been here, but what about that transgression?
It's been good because it's more up tempo, more up tempo plays. He want to go fast. He want to be physical. He wants you to give effort, and he just wants you to have fun. So.
Yeah. Some of the returning weapons and the additions like Isaiah Owens, what do you think kind of weapons this offense?
I believe Coach Elko did real good in the portal, adding some of the new pieces we needed. So, and then bringing some of them freshmen in. They also some ball players. So I feel like all them guys that came in, they're gonna have a good burst. And just when the spring's over, I'll go see what them guys are about.
You mentioned going more up tempo. Just what about this offense do you think and skill set of the players sort of adheres and can help you guys with going up tempo?
I feel when you go up tempo, if you go up tempo every practice, you get used to it. Defenses don't go up tempo all the time, so it gets the defense tired. More like so you can run plays better and you'll be going fast. And then the defense not even set. You say hut, you're gone.
I think you guys have the right personnel to be able to keep up and do stuff like that.
Oh, yes, sir, for sure. We do have the right personnel, and we have the right strength and conditioning staff to be in shape for that.
Such a deep running back room. How do you anticipate to separate yourself as that kind of premier guy?
Just show the coaches what I'm about, show the coaches what I can do. Coach Troop say every day that spot's for rent, so I'm just coming out here every day trying to show them that I deserve to be that guy.
Don't replace a lot of guys in the offensive line. How's that looking? Who do you like up there? What about that progress?
I like all of them. I know we had to replace a few guys, but I like all my offensive linemen. Spring ball, we go get right, and they go show what they can do to Coach Cushion to see who should be the 5 guys on there. But all of them physical and all of them go. So it's going to be hard to see who's going to be that starting 5.
What's your relationship like with Holman Wiggins, and just how nice is it to have him take the reins?
My relationship with Coach Wiggins is good. Coach Wiggins. So the thing, Coach Wiggins played running back. So when he became the OC, I was like, okay, he gonna run that ball. So yeah.
Do you feel you got to run the ball so many times a game to be good, to get into rhythm, or you had to deal with injuries, so now you're fully healthy. Going forward, what do you expect to see from you?
I feel in the game, it can be running the ball sometimes to get in rhythm, but it really just depends on what you see out there and how things are going. But I feel like me being healthy is going to make a big difference in my gameplay. And I feel like I'm going to take that next step.
Just generally, how did it feel to be back out there today? I mean, first day, spring ball, just how did it feel?
It felt good, kind of feel myself, I was just a freshman 3 years ago. Now, fourth year, I'm getting kind of old, so, but it felt good to be back out there. It's been a long time coming, so,
You guys talk about such a great season, but then you lose the last 2 games. When you're around, do you say we got to finish, or what about that?
Yeah, Coach Elko was preaching that to us all off season. We got to finish. It was like that also the year before last year. We was going good. We was top SEC. We didn't finish them last few games, and then we ended up just going to a bowl game. This year we didn't finish as well, but we still made the playoffs. But we got to finish them. When we get towards the end of the season, we got to finish better. And Coach Elko been preaching that, and that's what we got to do for him.
What do you think when he says something like, when you see yourself, what do you think has to happen for you guys to get over that hump at the end then?
We got to. He put us in a position to finish. So we just got to do better. Like we can't get bored with this. It's continue. We had a good season. I feel like we got a little too, complacent with the winning, we just thought it was go, but no, we got to go out there and finish and keep winning. Like, because any Saturday you can lose. Any given Saturday, you lose more than you win. So yeah.
Are y'all as a team already talking about end of season goals and stuff like that, or is it way too early to start thinking and talking about stuff like that?
We just taking it one game at a time. That's all. One practice at a time, one game at a time, and then as the season goes along, that's when we of course all of us want to go to the national championship. Like, that's what we say, but we just take it. We got to take it one game at a time, one practice at a time.
You look in great shape. You added less weight, less body fat. You're more powerful. What about that?
I added less body fat, more muscle. Coach, my fit this offseason, because just like my first official offseason, like all the other seasons I've been hurt besides my freshman year, this is my first official offseason that I got to go the whole time, and go full speed. So I added less body fat, more muscle, and I feel like I'm more powerful.
Anything else?
Oh, thanks, Ruben.
A bunch of, a lot of things changed once you actually put the pads on. So, like, is there any specific guys on the offense that really caught your eye today?
I'd say KJ. Look, KJ. He real explosive, real fast, and he's gonna be something to reckon with.
Do you ever anticipate bringing back the nickname Black Unicorn?
Whatever it's all right. I don't really, you know what I'm saying? It's all right. It's something they made in El Campo, but I like it. But if they want to bring it back, they could. I'm not just gonna bring it back. So yeah.
And with that, it's a wrap.
All right, appreciate y'all.
That was Ruben Owens, met with the media, and I think that was after the first day of spring football for A&M. And, that's the O side. What about the D side? Here's Damian Sanford.
Coach Sheffield talked about you possibly taking more of a leadership role. Can you talk about doing that, and how are you going about that?
Oh yeah, I take more pride on leading by example. That's something I've been doing all last year, and I'm trying to become a better vocal leader this year. So I've been taking a big stride on becoming a vocal leader. We had competitive agilities in the off season, and I had my little group, my team, and I was the team captain of my group, and we pretty much just leading them on the way and trying to keep them right.
How about the transition to Hemphill? What might be different? Tell us what is he like playing for?
He's a really good coach. He prides himself on like sticking together, playing together. Last year we had a lot of miscommunication, missed assignments, missed bus. This year he's really trying to push the pace and try to keep us together and make us all on the same page.
The addition of Ray Coney, what do you think he's going to add to this?
He's going to have speed, power. He's smart, decisive. He has a lot of experience. He was at Tulsa and team captain at Tulsa, so his leadership too is going to be great for us.
What do you want to get out of this spring yourself? You really came on last year. You talked about that. So how do you build on that? What do you need?
I want to become a better leader for this team. Just a voice for this team. I did a lot of great things last year. But I kind of pushed that to the side and want to build a good foundation this year. And I want to show everybody, put the head down and work. If you work, put your head down, and you get what you want out of it.
How easy or hard has it been to sort of come away last year and move forward as a team?
You say it again?
How easy or hard has it been to put away last year and try and move on into the spring?
I mean, it's been pretty easy. We got a lot of new stuff, new additions to this team. And we got a lot of new calls. So I'm kind of like refreshing my mind on new calls because a lot of coaches move to different teams, and so we have to switch up the calls, switch up the terminology. So it's been pretty easy.
Has the language been different?
No, it's been different. It's been different. Yeah.
Since you blossomed last year, who might we see blossom that we don't know about on the linebacker or that's been in the background? Who do you like might become the next few?
I really like Noah McKell. He took big strides last year. He played a little bit last year, and coming in as a freshman, he had his head in the right space. He's a good student. Good student of the game. He likes to learn. He learns quick, learns fast, and he's decisive. He has all the tools to become a great player.
Expectations you set for yourself, not only as a leader of the linebacker room, but as a defense?
Yeah, as far as expectations, just becoming a good leader. I learned a lot from York, like being a vocal leader. You know, he set the tone as being a great leader in school. School was a great player too, and a great leader for the defense, for the linebackers too. You know, he set a good example of showing us like how, you know, what a linebacker should be, and what we should do to become great.
How's your basketball bracket after?
Oh, I didn't make a bracket yet. I don't get into basketball. I don't really watch basketball.
That was Damian Sanford, a listen-in, of course. Aggie Football listen-in, spring football underway. And when the players speak, we listen. When the coaches speak, we listen. Here on the Louie Bellina Show, presented by CC Electric. Let's grab one final last time out, come back. We'll end our day together. Text messages, final thoughts, and more. It's the Louie Bellina Show from inside the Charles Schwab studio here on The Zone.
Sign up for the Zone newsletter at zone1150.com. And don't miss out on a chance to win $5,000 in the Money Machine.
Check in, chill out. Discover your degree of chill at Moody Gardens Galveston Island. Are you super chill? Like a mom lounging poolside? Or the explorer face-to-face with penguins and pythons at the rainforest or aquarium pyramids? Or maybe you're the thrill seeker, soaring on our zip line. Whatever your degree of chill, we have you and everyone in your crew covered. The Moody Gardens Hotel also has the newest rooms in Galveston for the ultimate spring break with your tickets, food, and spectacular accommodations at a special price. Check in, chill out, and save at moodygardens.org today.
Power up your peace of mind with CC Electric. Built on faith, family, and community, CC Electric is here to be your shining light in the dark. Born here, raised here, and serving here, your home is our home. And we're here to provide electrical services for all of your residential needs. From servicing new builds to fixing flickering lights, our team at CC Electric serves all of the Brazos Valley. Commercial, residential, and industrial, whatever your need, call us or visit us at ccelectricbcs.com and power up your peace of mind with CC Electric.
Your home for Texas Live, the Louie Bellina Show, and Chip Howard Sports Talk is the Zone 1150 AM and 93.7 FM. Listen on the Zone app or online at radioaggieland.com or tell Alexa, play Zone 1150.
Play Zone 1150.
Listen live on your phone, smart speaker, computer, or the Zone app. Powered by Loyalty Plumbing, where craftsmanship and loyalty is their business. Visit LoyaltyPlumbingLLC.net. Take the Zone and your favorite teams and shows with you wherever you go.